What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in with some really exciting Destiny 2 Black Armory news, and we've got a bunch of different stuff to talk about. So of course today is This Week at Bungie. They do talk about some of the reveals that have happened this week, but they give us new information about the Scourge of the Past raid. They actually give us recommended power level this time, which is nice. They do talk a little bit about the new power level of 650 and how some of that climb is going to work. They speak about the Veterans Bundle. They talk about the updates we can expect next week. I'm going to speak about Xur in Season 5. Got some interesting stuff about the Dawning to talk about, and a pretty huge leaked cinematic that I'll speak about briefly at the end. That will come with a big spoiler alert, don't worry. But for now, we're going to jump into it, guys. I hope you do enjoy this video. So first up, of course, Bungie reiterates a lot of the stuff about the reveals this week. They did provide the roadmap for Black Armory itself. And of course, we can see the different forges that are going to launch, the raid, the Dawning, and even some stuff in January. And there is the full gameplay calendar in This Week at Bungie as well, so you can check that one out. I'll link it down below. But they did provide a pretty juicy picture right here with some of the new exotic weapons, as well as some of the armor sets that we'll get in Black Armory. So of course, we got the exotic bow with the Hunter, the new fusion rifle with the Warlock, and if you ask me, that's the real hand cannon right there. It literally goes on your hand. We do have the Titan as well with the awesome new sniper rifle, and these sets are pretty neat, and looking in the database we can see where we're going to get them. So all of them for now just have normal perks. Doesn't look like they'll have anything particularly special outside of their cosmetics, of course, but for the forged machinist helm for the Titan, we can see that the source says found in forge ignitions. And of course the lost forges will be some of the new activity content that we get in Black Armory, so as well as potentially weapons, quests, things like that, we do know that the armor will drop from this activity as well. Now though, Bungie talk about the new raid that we're going to get inside of Black Armory. So they say, when we revealed the annual pass earlier this year, we mentioned the inclusion of new raid lairs. In Season of the Forges reveal earlier this week, we said that it contains a raid, not a raid lair. Lairs were extensions of an existing raid setting. Black Armory's Scourge of the Past doesn't fit that definition. It takes place in a new setting, telling its own story, and isn't related to the events of Dreaming City. Destiny raids have come in many shapes and sizes, from Crow's End to The Last Wish, and Scourge of the Past falls within that spectrum. We get a nice juicy image right here of the area in the city where this is actually going to take place. Definitely very different environmentally, but we did see that there's going to be a vehicle section in here as well, so that's certainly going to be pretty interesting. Importantly though, Bungie say Scourge will release on Friday, December 7th at 9 AM. Of course, that is the reset. Its recommended power is 640, but there is no minimum power requirement. Any Guardians who own the annual pass can drop into the space and explore. Good luck. So unlike Last Wish, we do actually get an idea of the recommended power here from Bungie directly. It is 640. Of course, the maximum power inside of Black Armory is 650. So it's definitely going to be a good week one grind to try and get up to a decent level for that raid. Of course, with Last Wish, we saw a pretty punishing raid, relatively speaking, and most of that was based around the power requirement. It looks like we'll be in a pretty similar position with this one as well. Let me know your thoughts about that down below. Now though, Bungie speak about powerful progression. Of course, we have a new power cap of 650. Bungie say, starting with the update on Tuesday, of course with Black Armory, the power cap for all players of D2 Forsaken will be increased to 650. We've been receiving some questions since the new cap was announced and want to set the record straight here. So all players of Destiny 2 Forsaken may reach 650 power, no annual pass required. So if you don't feel like picking an annual pass up, you can actually continue to power up all the way to the maximum level. To think about this just for a second, this is going to be really good for players who have Forsaken and want to jump into things like Iron Banner, which of course is a seasonal thing, it's not actually tied to DLC. You will be able to get to the maximum power, so things like that disadvantage won't necessarily be a problem as long as you own Forsaken. Of course, that isn't the case if you only own the vanilla Destiny 2 game, but Bungie do say the soft cap will remain at 500 power. Players under 550 power should expect to see Prime Engrams more frequently and receive higher power bumps to help them reach endgame levels. Powerful reward sources will remain consistent for those who own Destiny 2 Forsaken, and there will be new powerful reward sources for those who own the annual pass. So if you're below 550, you're actually going to get more Prime Engrams more often and get better power bumps with those, and that's going to mean that all players will have a pretty good opportunity to catch up. But the perk for the annual pass is that you will have additional ways to get powerful rewards. So you're actually going to get more power than players who don't have annual pass, which definitely makes sense. So it seems like a pretty decent system to me there. Let me know your thoughts down below. Overall, it's going to be pretty similar to what we had in Forsaken. Nothing major has really changed, and there is no change to that soft cap as well, so bear in mind, we will just be hunting powerful rewards from the get-go. Now, Bungie talk about the Veteran of the Hunt bundle, and of course they told us about this in October. Any player who got Destiny 2 Forsaken before October 16th will get this Veteran bundle. Unfortunately though, Bungie say this was supposed to drop with Black Armory, but it is going to have to drop in a later update now on December 18th. But we do at least have a release date for that, and Bungie give us a preview of some of the emotes emotes. We've got the coin flip right here, pretty cool Gambit emote, and we also have the knife trick as well. And of course, those Guardians are wearing some of the new Forge armor, but with the new veteran shader. So let me know your thoughts about that down below. Of course, though, this week we had update 2.1. I did cover the patch notes for that, which I'll link in the description. With Bungie saying next Tuesday, December 4th, update 2.1.1.1 will arrive. So at 8:30 AM PST, there will actually be some maintenance for Destiny 2 that should conclude at 9 AM PST, and the new update will roll out. And then, of course, Black Armory itself is actually going to launch. So just bear in mind some short maintenance right there, another update as well. I think we did get most of the download for Black Armory this week, so the next update should be a relatively small one, but do just bear it in mind. Now though, we're going to round up a few additional things. We're going to talk about Xur in Season 5, a new heavy machine gun in the Dawning, and we're also going to talk about a huge leaked cinematic that you may or may not have seen, but I will save that to the end and I will give a full spoiler warning. I'm not actually going to show it, but I will talk briefly about it. First though, let's round up a couple of other things. So, a lot of folks are wondering about the fate of Xur inside of Season 5, and let's get this one straight out of the way. So somebody asked DMG, are Xur's fated engrams still only going to drop Year 1 exotics? And DMG said yes, Xur will continue to offer Year 1 exotics through Season of the Forge. We have plans to address this vendor in the future. So just in case you're wondering about that, Bungie do plan to add Xur bounties in the next season, but we do have that confirmation that Xur hasn't seen any changes, and for now, we'll still be seeing Year 1 exotics. So I did want to kind of set the expectation right there, because I have seen a lot of questions, and of course I do make the Xur video, and for now it's something I plan to continue making, assuming they're actually getting some slightly decent rolls on those exotics. And of course, not everyone has everything in the game, so we'll see how that one goes, but for now, Xur is not going to be dropping new exotics. The idea of Xur bounties in the next season though is definitely a promising one. Maybe that's Bungie's plan to deliver these exotics, and it's kind of an idea that's been circulated in the community as well. It's just unfortunate that it's going to take a little while longer. Next though, let's speak about some stuff in the database. So of course we are getting the Dawning, and Bungie confirmed this one will drop on December 11th, but it actually looks like there is going to be a somewhat interesting, potentially meaningful reward right here. So we have the Avalanche heavy machine gun. We can see that it has got the Dawning icon. Of course it's called the Avalanche. The flavor text reads, if they're close enough to see it start, then they better run. But it's going to be an adaptive frame machine gun. We can see there is a featured bonus there of Rampage. Maybe we'll get a creative roll of this, but like GG does list a bunch of potential bonuses here. So we've got Under Pressure, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Slideways, Threat Detector, Moving Target, and Feeding Frenzy. Of course, Feeding Frenzy has come back into the game alongside the Thunderlord, and it looks like that's going to roll out on a bunch of legendaries. The second trait slot can get Rampage, High Impact Reserves, Quick Draw, Firmly Planted, Snapshot, and Hipfire Grip. That is just what the database is telling us, so it looks like it will get random rolls. And if that is the case, that probably means it will be farmable, but we'll have to wait for a reveal on that one from Bungie. There are some other interesting items though. This also is linked to the Dawnings. We've got a Baker's Pouch, a small Baker's Bundle that contains 8 of a random common ingredient and 4 of a random rare ingredient. I actually was very close to laughing while reading that, but it does have the Dawning icon. It looks like it will be in the Eververse inventory, and we can see some of the items that you actually get inside of these packages. So Vex Milk, Ether Cane, Cabal Oil, Chitin Powder, Taken Butter, and Dark Ether Cane. There are also some blue ones. You get even higher quality ingredients right here. No idea what these are going to be used for, but I'd love to hear your speculation down below. Certainly sounds a little bit different. But now guys, we're going to talk briefly about a pretty huge spoiler that popped up on Reddit just a couple of days ago. It's not typically the kind of thing I would necessarily talk about, but because I've been away for a couple of days, it is something that's actually circulated quite a bit. So a lot of people have seen this at this point, and a lot of people are actually talking about it. Of course, if you don't want any potential story spoilers, then now is a good time to click off this video, but this one has absolutely huge implications for the game. So there is a leaked cinematic, and this was posted by Jinsa. I'm going to link the Reddit post in the description below so you can check it out if you want to. But basically what we see is a ghost traveling through the Dreaming City, and they actually approach the area next to where Petra stands in the Strand. And essentially what happens is that the ghost revives a character that we can see, and it turns out that that character is Prince Aldrin. So from what we're seeing in this cinematic, bearing in mind this is leaked content, but what we're seeing is Aldrin coming back to life as a guardian, of course, Traveler's Chosen, because he's actually revived by a ghost. Now this is a super unexpected twist, and exactly what this will mean, we'll have to wait and find out. but we do know for sure that this means that Aldrin is now a Guardian, and there's some pretty wild speculation as to what's going to happen here. A theory that I'm sure we'll see some controversy over is that Aldrin could become a member of the Vanguard, essentially the Hunter Vanguard, taking the place of Cade. There are people who seriously believe that that could actually happen. You guys all have to join in on the speculation. However, we don't know when this will actually be released. We don't know if it's going to be part of the Black Armory, if it's something that will run alongside Black Armory as kind of a separate story piece, or indeed something that will happen later on, you know, in a future season. It's interesting that it's been added into the game right now. Like I said, it's something that I don't want to play on YouTube, but you can check out the Reddit post, you can go and check it out for yourself if you want to. I'm going to leave it there for the speculation. The lore nerds are going to have an absolutely awesome time breaking down this one. And I don't want to go too far into any madness. I am very, very tired at this point. But guys, that is going to summarize the video for today. Let me know any of your thoughts on the stuff we've covered down below. I do have a lot more Black Armory stuff to talk about over the next 2 days, so definitely stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and if you have enjoyed the video, a rating is super appreciated down below. But for now, whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.